somehow or you've both lost. A situation where one person walks away feeling discouraged, unheard, and disrespected is not a victory when you're married. My favorite saying is, it's not you vs. you're so. It's you two vs. the problem. Thanks for the silver, kind stranger. And the gold. Everybody always says to be honest and to communicate with each other. The extra step that is left out is to not punish your spouse for being honest. Sometimes you might hear things you don't like. But if you punish this honesty, the communication line will close. Give each other space and alone time. If he wants to veg out and play video games for a couple hours, let him. If she wants to unwind watching reality TV or reading books, let her. Don't have to be connected at the hip to have a successful marriage. This is huge. Time alone is required. Sometimes you'll be helping each other poop or puke or both and cleaning it up. Don't ever bring this back up to humiliate the other. My wife is pregnant and kind of emotional. We have an agreement that I can't laugh at her farts unless she laughs first. This is going to be the hardest thing I've ever done. If one person voluntarily cleans something, the other person is expected to not complain about how the job was done. They might not load the dishwasher the way you do, but they did load it. That is a win. Sometimes you're wrong and sometimes they're wrong. Don't keep score. And don't use "well last time" as an excuse to keep going when you're the one who is wrong. Also, talk things through. Can't stress this enough. Not married, but this is one of the bigger reasons my last relationship didn't work out. I've tried to talk things out, but it could only get so far. Don't keep score. Forgive and forget, or if anything, move the duck on. My friend told me it's 2 blankets on the bed. One for each of you. We're looking forward to the age where it's socially acceptable to have 2 twin beds. Haven't met my SO yet, but I hope she likes bunk beds. D. If your partner is in a bad mood, leave him or alone for a while. Why people pick at someone who's in a bad mood is beyond me. Cause the same person later says that you didn't care last time she were in bad mood. This guy marriages. Respectfulness is often more important than the old saying about communication. Respecting your partner. Being mindful of things they are doing, etc. Learn when your partner is focused on something and avoid interrupting them, etc. Respect each other's need for free time away from each other. Respect your partner enough to not trash the house or force your partner to do all the household chores. I'm a divorce attorney and I've been married for almost 20 years. Here's the secret: be the kind of spouse that you would like to have by your side. Forgive the things you would like to be forgiven for and fight for the things that you would like someone to fight for on your behalf. The best way to have a good spouse is to be one. Don't correct the other person unless it's important. Otherwise it'll just raise the level of irritation. More generally, pick your battles. This is true. If your spouse calls a squid an octopus, duck it. Let it go. No. She said it was okay to correct something if it was important. Cephalopods are serious business. 50-50 doesn't exist. In fact, it's harmful. What you're looking for is 60-40. Sometimes you get 60. Sometimes you get 40. It's funny. My dad always said 50/50 was a shit show. It should be 100/100. You aren't half of a couple. You are your own complete person sharing your life with another whole person. You don't split things in half or divide anything intangible, not applicable to real objects, because that's the first step to not putting in 100% of your effort. He and my mom were together for 33 years before she died. Love your partner the way they need to be loved, not the way you need to be loved. How do you learn the way your partner needs to be loved? You get to know them. Never disrespect your partner. Not in public, or in conversations to your friends, or in front of the kids, etc. Friend of my brother does this. She is such a nice, educated, and successful woman. He always berates her and puts her down in front of others. It is so sad to treat your so like that. Really makes me want to say something, but I know it's just going to make it more awkward for everyone, especially her. So ugly of a person to do that. Never use the D word, divorce. Assume it's not an option. Assume it's never an option. Every fight you work through the best you can. You won't always agree. But at the end of the day, neither of you is going anywhere. It allows you to be vulnerable and honest about things without worrying your spouse will dip out on you depending on what you say. I'm not saying divorce is never the option. I truly believe being cheated on and similar issues are hard, not impossible, but incredibly difficult to work through. Once trust is gone, it can be irreparable. But if you live life assuming divorce is off the table and focus on trying to strengthen your relationship in the difficult times, it will change your marriage drastically. Absolutely. We even have a no joking about divorce rule. It's not a life thing. And no laughing matter. Remember that the last words you have spoken to her may be the last words she ever hears from you. If you have kids, it's okay to put your so first. A healthy marriage is better for kids in the long run than a mom or dad that waits on their kids hand and foot. As long as you aren't completely neglecting your child or putting them in danger. Unfortunately, some people kick their kids out because their new so does like them, or they overlook when their kids are being preyed on by their so. No matter what happens, we're on the same side and working towards the same goals. From work to family members. The rest of the world can be a but at the end of the day, we chose each other and we remember why. If your so drops the pot of dinner on the floor, or the garbage bag bursts and makes a mess, you step in and say go sit down and watch TV. I will clean this. There is nothing more frustrating than making the effort to keep your family clean and fed, and having to fight against the universe at the same time. If your so has your back at exactly that moment, it's instant love. 1. Never use the D word, divorce, unless you're really prepared to go there. 2. Laugh. Like a lot. 3. Learn to know when you ducked up and genuinely apologize. Without using the word but. 4. Date nights. Always make time for date nights. 5. Pick your battles wisely. 6. Get a dog. It's fun to obsess equally over something insanely sweet and adorable. I'm divorced, but I feel this applies. When my husband and I were on the verge of divorce, he tried to make me give up my cat. I told him I'd divorce him before I gave up my cat. He couldn't believe I'd choose my cat over him. My cat didn't sleep with another woman while I was pregnant. He packed up and left the next day. 3 lessons. 1. Don't marry someone if you choose your cat over them. 2. Don't marry someone who'd make you give up your cat. 3. If they cheat while you're dating, a wedding ring isn't magically going to make them loyal. Have separate interests and also shared interests. And friends. Definitely. We have mutual groups but also see our own ones. Trust isn't just about believing your partner won't lie or cheat on you. It also means believing they have your best interests at heart. Giving them the benefit of the doubt as much as possible. And not needing to win arguments purely on principle. You aren't afraid of starting a slippery slope of laziness if you go ahead and take care of one of their chores. You don't try to punish each other's mildly annoying quirks, even though you might make no secret of the fact that they annoy you. You don't say mean things behind each other's back. You should be able to make your spouse your #1 priority without worrying that they'll abuse it. Don't ducking lie. Ever. I'm not married, but my dad once told me to never make a big purchase without talking to your spouse about it and to never hold money against each other. Mutual hatred of the same things. We like the what the duck is wrong with those people. Hey. At least we're not like that mentality. Put all the restaurants' name in your area in a hat. Agree that you will decide where to eat based on the name you pull out of the hat. One rule I've followed for the last decade is that I never ignore calls from my wife. If she's calling or texting me, I answer no matter what. My grandpa shared this advice with me. He's been married to my grandma for 67 years. When you feel like you're going to get into an argument, go into the bedroom, take all of your clothes off, and argue. You just might end up with more children than you anticipated. Love is a decision. Some days that decision is harder than others. Some days they carry you. Some days you carry them. It should balance out eventually, but the time scale is years. Do something together so you have something to talk about. It's okay to do things apart, too important even. My husband loves art films. I don't, he goes without me. I love running. He doesn't, I go without him. You still get to be an individual. You don't have to do everything together. Don't expect the other person to deeply change. Learn to compromise and work around problems together. Your husband hates laundry and won't do it? Okay, he does dishes instead. It's my 8-year anniversary today. Not having kids helped a shit ton. I think. Mutual respect and amusement. Both of you should respect each other and find each other's flaws and foibles amusing. Everything else just comes down to putting in the work, and it doesn't have to be hard work all the time either. Sometimes it's just putting in the time. My wife adds, assume good intentions. Your partner loves you. He's no trying to be inconsiderate, thoughtless, or a big dig, and she's not trying to be a rich or a nag. Her words, not mine. Figure out what's a big deal and what's a little deal, or irritation. Let the small stuff go. Every time. It's almost all small stuff. You'll rarely get upset at each other after you both master it. Less of a rule and more of a tip for young couples. There are 2 apps that have been critical to my happy marriage. Together almost 11 years. Married for 7. A shared Google Calendar and a grocery list app called Our Groceries that lets you add people to the list. No more what do you mean we have plans this weekend. I just said we could do this other thing. No more hey I'm at the store right this minute what do we need texts. Acknowledge anything that mildly annoys you immediately. And when you fight fair. No name calling or bringing up shit from the past. If you're going to buy one piece of really expensive, nice furniture, get a quality bed with the best mattress. You're going to spend up to 1/3 of your life in this spot with this person. No need to piss each other off because you are sleeping in a bad bed.